Well, a really good performance, Keith, in very, very difficult conditions. Did you feel you deserved more from the game than the draw?
Yes. It's a little bit heated in the changing rooms. We're really disappointed with the referee's decision on awarding the penalty. I thought the first half should have yielded more goals. So we're really disappointed that a decision that shouldn't have been awarded as a penalty has probably cost us 3 points. I think it's the second successive draw at home where we probably should have got the second goal, and if we had done, we would have gone on to win the game, which is obvious. But I think the players are doing everything they possibly can while we're, without James Vaughan. We know, and everybody in League Two knows, that it's not just his ability to score goals, it's his presence, it's his personality, and there's a real fear factor. While we're playing quite well, we need, to put the ball in the back of the net. And in football terms, we're probably just treading water a little bit at this moment in time. Some of the performances have been excellent, but to actually finish those games off in that final third, you need somebody. And we're looking for somebody. We're asking all the time. We're looking at trying to develop players, see what we can get out of certain players higher up the pitch. And we're searching for the right formula just to make sure that we support these players, because they're giving us everything. And it was difficult on Friday because everyone I spoke to has suggested that it's difficult playing against Cheltenham because of the long throw, and it's unfair. It's not. It's part of football. You have to deal with it, and you've got to respect it. You've got to respect Cheltenham for what they are. We can't say that it's not football. It is football, and I wouldn't dare disrespect, the way that they play, because it's about winning football matches. Now, we did suffer with respect to conceding 3 set play goals against Cheltenham. We haven't done that all season. So we put that in isolation, or I do. A lot of people don't. I look at what needs to be done with a group of players. And I will not beat this group of players up. I won't. They're giving us everything. They're giving me everything. I've been in this situation many times before. And what you need at this time of the season is calm heads, clarity. You cannot start the blame game. You cannot start having a go at the players. You cannot say that you should be doing this, you should be doing that, you're not doing this, we need more. It just doesn't work. Trust me. And if we keep bringing negative pressure to the players, then we will fail.
A lot of good movement in that first half, and that was epitomised by that goal that Paul Lewis scored. It was a cracking goal.
Great goal. And like I said, we've utilised Paul in different areas of the pitch. I trust him 100%. He's a magnificent person, and I trust him, obviously, in that sort of situation, but he's a battler. We needed to be stronger in the centre of the park today. I thought Lee O'Connor was brilliant. I thought he was very, very unlucky to be withdrawn at half-time against Cheltenham, but we needed something a little bit different to see if we could win the second half. But I trust him as well. I trust all the players. When they go out there and perform, and they give me everything that I expect, then regardless of the score sheets, the scoreline, I'm proud of that group of players. They're giving us everything. We're going into a really sensitive time in the season where we need people to be backed. We need them to be supported. And you can't just support me, or my group of players, or my staff when we win. How fickle is that?
Small margins. Liam Feeney's free kick, and then you're too low and you'd be 2-0 up, and that's the 2-goal gap you're talking about.
Yes, definitely. But, I don't really want to say it, but if my auntie had testicles, she'd be my uncle.
Having said that, a draw, you're back in the automatic spots again. It sort of shows how strange this league can be sometimes, doesn't it?
No, it shows the psychological pressure that is put on football teams, football players, results, and you have to live with it. I've lived with it since the age of 15, 16. When I left school and I came in professional football. But we're going into a week of the Masters here. We see players of great magnitude and more ability than I ever had, choke. But does it mean they're bad people? Does it mean they're not successful? Does it mean that they are failures? Absolutely not.
I mean, your team gave you the response you wanted today. I mean, you've always
a
bounced back, haven't you?
A response? No, I think I'm not looking for a response. I'm looking for the players to be who they are, the personality that I know that they've got to be able to perform on a football pitch. We didn't quite do that, but are we expected? Does everybody in this room expect us to win every game? We're not Man City.
You mentioned injuries. Jay Spearing come off. Was that hamstring?
Yeah, it looks like it. But I think that's our 51st game today. I'm sure it is, of the season. They've been influential, so we'll need everybody. Nia Kirby wasn't addressed in the squad today, but he'll be needed. With the 7 games that we've got, every player, the players who haven't got on the bench today will be needed. There's no doubt about that in my mind. And I can only talk through experience.
I wasn't going to mention James Vaughan. We did bring him into the conversation. Have you put a time scale on it? I know you're saying you'd like to have him back in your side.
I haven't put a time scale on it. I can't, because I'd be encouraging the medical staff to do something that they shouldn't, which is hurry him up when he's not quite fit.
But having said that, as you say, you've got a group of players who are working really hard and pushing on, and you're still you're right in the mix. Another game's gone, you're still right in the mix. I mean, that's a really exciting time.
It should be. I'm not too sure at this moment in time. It's as though we've failed. I don't think we've failed. I don't think we're failing. I would say that there's a lot of teams in this league. If we're failing, they're failing as well.
And now you've got another few days to prepare for the next one, and it's important now just to focus on that next game, isn't it?
Well, I'm going home now, and I'm going to rest, and I'm going to think, and I'm going to spend a lot of time with Keith Hill because I need to do.
What was said after the Cheltenham game, sort of leading into this game? Because obviously there's a short gap between the two games, and obviously the performance was not what you would have wanted. But today's performance was the complete opposite. Also, it appeared to me.
Why would you keep over-analysing? It's strange now, the world, for me. It is strange. It's just simple. You didn't play well, so the next time you put your shirts on, play like you can. Fundamentals, work hard, run hard. There's not a big psychoanalysis on every time we get beat. I don't listen. I was brought up with some good managers, me. Kenny Dalglish, Don Mackay, Neil Warnock. Sometimes you're better off saying very little. Actions speak louder than words, don't they?
Was that the case this week? Just let them.
I don't like dwelling. I don't like. Well, you should have done this. You should have done that. Whatever we said after Friday's game, the last thing I said is right. The next time we're in training, we come in, we put a smile on our face, and we make sure we go again. And I don't like negativity. I really, really don't. I've been brought up in a very, very, very forgiving family, and we move on very quickly, and that's the Keith Hill way. We move on very quickly. I don't get lost in a loss. That's one thing for sure. And I trust the players to respond without me having to tell them how to respond because they're good people.
You said you're looking for alternative ways of filling that void left by James Vaughan, and Danny Lloyd back in the side today seemed to bring a new, energy to the side, but also energise those around him.
I agree, 100%. He's probably been unlucky while we've been searching, to find a formula, but over the weekend, like you suggested, I look back at where we got our biggest successes and key components of that and who was playing, on a regular basis, and looking at partnerships, i.e. Paul Lewis and Jay Spearing, and I just thought, right, we need a little bit of this, now let's see if we can make it work. And we've got a good performance, and with good performances from now till the end of the season, we'll be good.
Do you feel that some deliveries in the box could have been a bit more consistent?
Yes, 100%. I think we all agree that, don't we? But I don't need to sell the players that, they know themselves. I think when I first got into management, I just said to myself, I can't be that person where I've been a player. So if you make a mistake, you tell yourself off, then the crowd tell you off, then your teammates tell you off, then your manager tells you off. Not acceptable as far as I'm concerned. You know yourself where you made a mistake. So I don't have to tell the players.
What's the situation with Charlie Jolly at the moment? We saw him after the game today.
Yeah, he will be up to speed, but whether that's this season or next season, he's definitely one for the future. You know, I trust him. He needs to, you know, he needs to be protected.
It's a tough league, this, isn't it? You know, it's a physical league, and he looks quite a slight lad, a young lad. You know what I mean? It makes me feel old. So
He makes me feel old, but I'll protect him. I'll protect him until I realise he's ready. I won't expose him in the way that we did against, was it Stevenage? I think that was a bit unfair. I thought he was ready and he wasn't. I have a good relationship with Charlie. He knows what we're trying to do with him, and the next time you see him, you know, it'll be the right Charlie Jolly.
other results have gone Tranmere's way today, and we've finished the Easter weekend still in the automatic promotion places, which wasn't the case on Friday. So other teams are going to drop points, are they? That's clear now. So is it a case of just keeping a calm head right through this now and not panicking?
Well, my experience of success is making sure that you can. Previously said about which any ever analogy that we want, want to catch a butterfly. I don't think you can force something, I never forced my wife to marry me, that's for sure.
Great. Thanks very much, Keith.
But we've had great success.